This spring, Sony said goodbye to the Z line that has been shaping its Android strategy for a while now and introduced a fresh new trio of phones, chief among which is the Xperia X Performance here. And that's exactly the handset we're going to clash with Samsung's finest in the category, the Galaxy S7. Both fit in the 5-inch display realm, sport the latest Snapdragon chipset, have powerful cameras and cost a similar amount, so which one will prevail? Let's find out. We aren't going to mince words here. While the new X series is a departure from the familiar Sony Z design, it's not much of a change in form, just the glass back got replaced by other materials. The fairly chubby and rectangular X Performance has a back panel made of metal, but it rings somewhat hollow when you tap on it, and the keys all around the phone are shallow with poor tactile feedback. The S7 on the other hand is slim and fashionable in its glass and metal chassis. With sturdy, easy to feel and press buttons all around, it also has much more comfortable grip in the hand, not only because it is slimmer, but also on account of the tapered back sides. Despite that, the fingerprint sensor is moved to the sides of the Sony phone, embedded in the lock key here. The screen-to-body ratio remains poor, largely thanks to the two front-facing speakers. The Sony handset has an IP68 rating, meaning that you can dip it in up to 3 feet of water for at least half an hour. The same is valid for the Galaxy S7 though, yet it feels downright elegant in its thin chassis when compared to the Xperia X Performance. Sony decided to stick with 1080p resolution on the 5-inch LCD panel of the X Performance, and we're totally fine with that, as the pixel density is more than enough for the screen diagonal, as Samsung's Quad HD AMOLED screen is a bit of overkill for the same size. Sony again went with cold colors and oversaturated greens for the screen and its calibration. While it argues that the setup aids outdoor visibility, we'd rather have a more natural color mode to choose from. The X Performance has a very good peak brightness of 550 nits, and the display is easily visible outside with low reflections, even a tad better than the Galaxy S7's panel. Samsung's display, on the other hand, has a basic mode that returns colors which are pretty close to the standardized gamut in temperature and saturation. The default adaptive mode goes on the cold and saturated side of the spectrum, but still not as much as on the X Performance. The Sony UX is pretty close to the stock Android 6 marshmallow beneath it, save for the icon skinning and Sony's own media and other apps. In the settings, for instance, Sony dressed things up with some color icons, but everything is still where you'd expect it to be. Sony did add some very useful options, like the ability to unlock the display by simply tapping twice on the glass. Samsung's TouchWiz, on the other hand, is heavily customized, with plenty of extra functionality built in you might or you might not need. It also loads the Galaxy S7 with a plethora of Samsung's own apps and services, some useful, some not so much. Good outliers here are the S Health app, as well as the excellent Samsung Pay system that uses the finger scanner beneath the display for authenticating payments and works everywhere that magnetic stripe cards are accepted. The Xperia X Performance has a 23 megapixel sensor with small pixels, so at least on paper we wouldn't expect wonders from such a setup. The camera app is minimalistic and offers a bunch of shooting modes to pick from. Galaxy S7 flaunts a larger sensor with lower 12 megapixel resolution but way bigger pixels and much wider aperture, while the interface allows you to choose from a wide variety of camera regimes and color effects too. The color presentation round goes to Sony's phone, as the Galaxy S7 shoots in warmish, rather yellow hues with a natural saturation boost. Samsung's phone captures more detail though, and its pics have much less noise creeping into the frame. Indoors, the S7 proves superior, producing sharp photos that highlight shadows and don't overexpose brighter objects like the Xperia does, especially at night. When it comes to video, the X Performance doesn't do 4K, while the S7 records and plays 4K without a hitch. Video definition levels aside, the handsets record fluid footage with quick exposure compensation while panning around. The video quality takes a cue from the still imagery. Galaxy S7 records sharper details but unnaturally warm colors, while the Xperia imagery is softish but with more realistic coloring. Here we want to really stop and praise the focusing system on these handsets. Sony's predictive hybrid autofocus and Samsung's dual pixel tech are the best you can currently find on a phone. This shows not only in our cam speed benchmarks, but also in the excellent continuous autofocus systems that move seamlessly back and forth between near and far objects while shooting video. Samsung's dual pixel tech is still a bit faster to adapt, but the difference is pretty negligible, so kudos to both Sony and Samsung here. With its more elegant and palm-friendly chassis, A superior camera on the back and much faster charging, the Galaxy S7 is the clear winner here. On paper, the phones are near equals, but when we got down to the details, Samsung's flagship turned out to be better in almost every important aspect of daily operations. Moreover, Sony priced its finest for the season on par with the Galaxy S7, yet it will be sold and locked in the US for usage on AT&T and T-Mobile only, and with a finger scanner missing at that. Thus, the Xperia X Performance is not in a fair fight against the S7 in the US, but even on other markets, the Galaxy S7 is definitely the better choice. This was a video comparison between Sony's Xperia X Performance and Samsung Galaxy S7. For more information about these handsets, you can visit us at PhoneArena.com. Thanks for watching.